off on Saturday of last week against the Ohio Kings, and we're going to watch that game in full. And then Sunday played another top 10 team, a team that beat us 3 times last year in the Indiana Lions. That game was not originally on our schedule. It was a reschedule due to some other games that got dropped. So thank you to the Lions for picking that game up. We play them on Sunday, as I said, at their facility there in Danville, just a 40-minute drive away from our facility. So I'm excited to see, particularly the first game. We're going to watch that game. Unfortunately, our feed got ruined in that second game, but you and I are going to spend some time talking about that. And we're going to extend this stream out. We're also going to talk about the Super Bowl. We're going to talk about all kinds of things. I'm really excited for it. Jake, I hope you're excited for it too. Let's get into the game a little bit. Ohio Kings, a team that beat us earlier in the season by about 20 points. A really tough team led by Cam Mitchell, their best player, a guy that averages almost 50 points a game in each of the last 2 seasons. What are you looking at for this game?
Yeah, obviously, I think that's going to be the key matchup is Cam Mitchell versus the whole Instigators, basically. Last time we played them, we had Chuck Bloom was the main defender on Cam, but he is dealing with that rib injury, so it'll be interesting to see who steps up on the defensive end in regards to covering Cam Mitchell in this matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're a Patreon subscriber, you read my blog post about a week ago now, or almost 2 weeks ago, talking about the rotating roster. We have been snake bitten this year between players leaving, players signing with other leagues, and players being injured. You mentioned the injury happening to Chuck Bloom with the broken ribs. We also have, Brandon Smith working his way back from injury. So a lot of injuries for the Instigators to overcome. But so far, as we pull into the last few games of the season, we have 5 games, including the 2 we're about to watch, 3 games left to be played. The Instigators are in a much better spot than they were this time last year, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. I mean, this whole season we found ourselves, right around teetering that 500 mark, a little bit above. I don't think we've fallen below 500 and entering this weekend. So it's definitely a big improvement. I don't think we were over 500 throughout the entirety of last season.
That's right. Yeah, the best record we had was at 500 at 1-1. And right now we go into this game at 6-6. So obviously still playing for those playoff spots. So these 2 games are super important, along with the 3 remaining. Jake, can you break down kind of how the playoffs work for those that may be tuning in for the first time?
Yeah, so the ABA, there's a bunch of teams in it, a bunch of divisions. What happens is the top 3 teams in the division get themselves into the top 3 playoff seeds within their respective division. The remaining teams then go into the play-in tournament. And with our division, we've got 6 teams, so it would be the 2 bottom teams have the first play-in game. The winner of that goes on to play the number 4 seed. The winner of that matchup then goes into the actual playoffs.
Yeah, and as you said, there's a little adjustment we got to break this week. Breaking news from this weekend, but the Midwest Monsters have dropped out of the league, putting us at 5 teams. So we were a division started with 8 teams at the beginning of the year. We've lost 3 in our division, and that's not just our division. That's something, as I talked about in that blog post. If you're not a Patreon subscriber, become a Patreon subscriber. That's where you get this news firsthand. But this is happening all over the ABA, right? All 3 divisions have lost teams this year. We have a couple of teams that I think are going about it the right way. One of which we played, the Indiana Shuckers. For those of you that were around last year, and then in the preseason this year, we played the Shuckers in preseason games. This year, they stepped up to be what's called an exhibition team for the ABA, which means they're not a full-fledged team. They're not playing a full schedule, but what they're doing is filling in and feeling out the ABA, which I think is an excellent way to go about it. I think Scotty over there that runs the IBL, that runs the Shuckers, is really smart about it. They're figuring out kind of what it takes to be in the league, what it's like to be in the league without fully committing, so that they know whether or not it's for them or not. Should it be, which I believe with the Shuckers it will be, they're a really well-run organization. They will join the ABA next year. Same with there's the Skokie Greyhounds, another team that plays a lot of our teams up north that are doing the same thing. So that we hopefully don't have as much turnover in teams during the season as we do. But hey, when you have 160 teams in the league, there's bound to be some that don't make it all the way through, and that's what we're facing this year. 2 teams, though, that definitely will not go away, right? two really well-run organizations, the Ohio Kings, the Indiana Lions, stepping up. The Lions won the championship 2 years ago. The Kings played really well last year, playing really well this year as well. So we're gonna get out to Best Choice Fieldhouse. We're gonna watch that first game, as I said. We're gonna break down some stuff. We're gonna talk about the Super Bowl in this extended version of Instigators basketball. But before we do all that, we're going to do the one thing that's become a tradition around here, which is show you the unique rules that make the ABA the most exciting brand of basketball today. All right, Instigators fans, we are out here at Best Choice Fieldhouse. We want to take a minute before this game gets underway to thank our broadcast sponsor, Dave Rogers Modifications. Dave Rogers and his family have been huge supporters of the Instigators. Their son plays on the team as well, Captain America. So we just want to give a shout out to them as our broadcast sponsor, and a shout out to you all for watching at noon on a Super Bowl Sunday as we get started. Really excited about this game. A couple of new faces. Well, one new face. The Instigators had been searching for a while for a big man with the loss of Alex Brown, who went to the TBL. We've been looking for that big man, Jake, and we think we may have found someone in Miro Stoffel, who makes his debut today, number 8 with the Instigators. Excited to see what he can bring, aren't you?
Absolutely. That definitely something we've been looking for. Without the 7-footer down there, to have that height help on the rebounding side of things.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're going through introductions here. Miro will not be starting today as he works his way in. He's only been to 3 or 4 practices. He will play both in this game and tomorrow, the game that's the next day against the Indiana Lions. So it'll be interesting to see how he impacts how the Instigators play. Meanwhile, another exciting news while we're going through these introductions, the Instigators have picked up a new partner in Dubby Energy Drink. Dubby Energy Drinks are clean energy drinks with no sugar. Get yours today and get in the game. You can use code Apex Athletic, all one word, to get 10% off. So make sure that you do that today. As we're getting on the court here, looks like we're about to get underway, Jake. The Ohio Kings taking on the Hoosier State Instigators. Um, Starting for the Instigators, we see, Krishan, we see Levante, we see Tyler Bibbs, we got Cash Bell out there, and we got um, Malcolm Martin. So that's the starting lineup for the Instigators. Instigators coach Dobbs likes to mix up the starting roster a little bit depending on who they're playing and the personnel they're playing. So these are the folks she thought gave the Instigators the best chance to a hot start. So let's see as we wait just a second here for this game to get started. And we're underway. And Cam Mitchell, number 6, the key for the Kings all year, hits that bucket. And the Instigators are down 2-0. We have a quick whistle before the game even really gets going. So quick tip off and bucket. Instigators inbound the ball here. Sean Hopkins looking for somebody there. He finds Malcolm Martin. Martin takes the three. That goes in. Instigators take the lead. So a good start for the Instigators on the three-pointer by Malcolm Martin, who's been one of the captains, obviously, as Mitchell puts one out, and that goes in. Martin, one of the captains for the Instigators, has played a pivotal role for the team this year as a leader on and off the court. Cash Bell takes the pick. He's going to go straight to the basket here. He feeds it to Nelson. Nelson over to Hopkins. Number 13, Hopkins looking for a lane. Instead, he passes it to Bell. And almost loses the ball. Instead, keeps it there. He's going to go up, and he gets it to go. Nice shot by Cash Bell. Cash Bell is someone that's been slowly working his way into the rotation. Signed with the Instigators mid-season and has been looking for his role, and has kind of found it as that small forward slasher that the Instigators have been looking for. Instigators like to see the ball outside a lot, but it's good more and more that you've seen them attacking the basket. You see a pass out to Malcolm. He gets a step back. That's blocked. Grabbed by Tyler, who finds Krishan Hopkins, who goes to the hoop and gets the bucket. We're off to a fast start here in this one. Already 7-7, less than 2 minutes into the game. Kick out Kings with the three. That doesn't go. Ball's knocked out of bounds, and the Instigators will get the possession here. Referee's checking to make sure the clock's okay here. Kick out there to Nelson. Nelson back to Hopkins. They work their way around the arc. Bell looks to attack. He will there. He kicks it out to Martin. Almost lost the ball. Good job hanging on to it. Martin to the hoop, and that goes in. Help defense there on the backside was a little late, allowing Martin to get to the basket. So Instigators, who early in the season had slow starts, have really figured out how to kind of take off these last couple of games, which has gotten them back to 500. As they get it down. Good pass there by Hopkins to a wide open Martin. Martin hits the three. The Instigators up 5 early. 9 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Shot there is missed. Vontae Nelson with the rebound. He's an underrated rebounder for a guard. Had to play down low a lot as a power forward early in the season, but with the additions of Tyler Bibbs and with the addition now of Miro Stoffel, as we see Tyler score there on the offensive rebound, we'll give a quick timeout. We've seen Nelson been able to play his more natural role. So this timeout, we're going to take our first timeout here watching Instigators basketball. Instigators up 7 early, 14-7 here at Best Choice Fieldhouse. When I built my home, they offered me all kinds of cookie cutter options for my basement. But I had a specific vision, so instead, I called Chris Shepard and his team at Shep's Quality Construction. They worked with me and built my dream basement on my budget. If you have a project that you need done, make sure that you call Shep and his team and see your vision become reality today. We're back here at Best Choice Fieldhouse, Hoosier State Instigators taking on the Ohio Kings. This game is brought to you by our broadcast sponsor, Dave Rogers Modifications. No project, big or small, is too much to handle for Big Dave, so make sure you get out there and contact him for your project today. Instigators off to a fast start, Jake.
Yeah, impressive start here for the Instigators. Lots of scoring here offensively. I think Cam's got most of the points here so far for the Kings.
Yeah, absolutely. Cam Mitchell has all the points. For those of you, since we are in Indiana, wondering if the Mitchell has any relation to Kelsey Mitchell, it does, as they are relatives. So, interesting fact about Cam Mitchell there. By the way, welcome back, Kelsey, to the Fever. I don't know if you saw that signing, Jake, but super
Yeah.
happy to have Kelsey back in Indiana where she belongs. As we see Nelson float there and make the bucket. Kings bring the ball up now, down 9. So this new look Instigator starting lineup gives up the bucket there. Off to a good start. Pass over there. Another pass by Bell. Drive and kick out over to the wide open man for 3. That doesn't go, but that was a good look there for Nelson, who hits those pretty regularly. About as regular as anybody on the team, to be honest with you. Instigators look to be moving fast. Both teams running fast. Nelson hits that 3. The Kings like an up pace style, and so do the Instigators. So this is going to be a fun matchup to watch. I expect it to be a high scoring game between the two teams. As the Lions get the bucket and the harm, so they'll go to the line 4-1 here to complete the 3-point play. Kings need to put another player down and block, so we're waiting for that. And they hit the bucket. Get the gap down to 7. Skaters have been running this 5-out offense where they kick the ball around the arc and cut through the middle quite a bit. Bibbs for 3. He can hit those. That one doesn't fall, however. The Instigators get the offensive rebound. Martin ran it out on the line there to get the ball. And the second chance bucket should have been a block there, but there should have been goaltending, but instead it's called as a block. And the Kings get the fast break bucket. Looks like that ball touched the backboard to me. I don't know about you, Jake.
Yeah, it definitely looked pretty close there.
Nelson kicks it across the court. As that falls, the Skaters back up 8. 3-pointer there. That falls. So both teams just back and forth nonstop. Already 22-17. We're not even halfway through the first quarter. As Bell loses the ball there. He had a couple of those that were close. That one he finally does lose control of. 3-pointer doesn't fall. Scramble for the ball here. Loose ball gets to the Instigators, and Tyler Bibbs picking it up. Nice lead behind. Back to Bibbs. Bibbs in and out of the bucket. What a good pass, though. Good sequence by the Instigators. We get the foul on Malcolm Martin. Quick stoppage of play here for everyone to get their breath more than anything, I would guess. As we get back going here. Mitchell with the 2. That doesn't go. Rebounded, however. Mitchell try for 3 now. That one doesn't go either. Another offensive rebound by the Kings. And the foul on Martin. Kings will go to the line for 2. I'm going to tell you, Jake, the offense that both these teams are running really highlights what makes the ABA so exciting. Both teams up and down the court, nonstop, looking for fast breaks, looking for points, and looking for turnovers.
Absolutely high scoring, and we haven't even had a 3D opportunity yet.
As we see the first of the 2 free throws fall there. So number 2, Lackey hits both free throws, bringing the score down to only a 3-point lead by the Instigators, 22-19. Got to Bell. Bell fakes the shot there. Instead, he'll look around for someone to pass to. He finds Bibbs. Bibbs with the pump fake. Bell looking for the screen. Instead, he'll pass it out to Martin. Martin with the hesitation. He goes up. The reverse. Nice shot, but that doesn't fall. And Lackey with the rebound. Kings running quick. Wide open Mitchell. And he hits the three. He's off to a fast start. He ties the game for his Kings. 22 all, 5 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Stolen there. Hopkins throws it right to Lackey. Here's our first 3D opportunity, Jake. You called it not having one yet. Now we got it. Well, the shot is missed, but he'll go to the line for two. Good steal there by Vontae to get us the 3D opportunity. So Hopkins with 3 free throws here. And they're going to call media timeout, so we'll take a break. In suspension of these three free throws, we'll be back right after this.
Mission 22 is dedicated to unite the country in the war against veteran suicide. Bringing our veterans home is every American's job. Ambassadors are creating impact in their community across the country. Mission 22 has comprehensive treatment programs for post-traumatic stress and traumatic brain injury at no cost to veterans. This is an American issue. No matter where you stand, there's a place for your support. Visit mission22.com to learn more.
So both teams take a hydration break. By the way, the official hydration provider of the Hoosier State Instigators is Dave Rogers Modifications, who also happens to be the broadcast sponsor of this. Dave and his team's been providing our team with hydration solutions for every home game this season. So shout out to Dave for that. Just another problem that he saw needed fixing, and he took it upon himself to do so. So thank you to Dave. So Instigators shooting three here with a chance to retake the lead. They've not trailed at all in this game. They do with that shot. Foul count 3-1 in favor of the Kings. Hopkins hits both of the first two. He'll take the third here. So the Instigators cash in on their first 3D opportunity with 3 points. As JoJo Hart's checked into the game. OG Instigator. That didn't go. Ball scrambles around. Instead is caught by number 4. He misses the shot. That was 4. And the Instigators get the rebound after another stop. Shot by Bell. He misses the 3. Rebounded there. Bucket is no good, and Bell with the rebound. Good cross-court pass there by Hart. Bell back to Hart. JoJo to drive now. He gets fouled. That foul will be on number 6, Cam Mitchell. Shot by Bibbs, the mid-range. That doesn't go. Almost rebounded there by Monte. Instead, the outlet to number 10, Jordan. He puts it in. That's a quick bucket to pull within 1 by the Kings. Bell for 3, and he drills it. Cash Bell proving to be a really good shooter in addition to his driving and rebounding skills. You see the pass attempt blocked there. Devontae Nelson subs out after that, and we get our first look here at new signing Miro Stoffel for the Instigators. Miro, 6'11" out of Germany. You see Krishan pass the ball there to Hart. Hart asking for the screen, so he'll pass it over to Bell. Bell to Hopkins and back to Bell. Bell for three, no good. You see here the Kings off and running after every rebound. They get fouled by Cash. And Mitchell to the line for two. The Kings are relentless in their transition offense. We see a substitution here for the Kings. Number 5, Mitchell checks in. That goes in. Kings back within one. You see the Instigators rearranging to get the rebound here. No need as Mitchell hits the second. And the game's all tied up here with 3 minutes to go in the first quarter, 28-28. Hopkins out to Hart. I'm sorry, Bibbs. Bibbs out to Hart. Hart misses there. Good job by the Instigators to get back and slow down the offense of the Kings for this fast break opportunity. And Miro with the rebound, his first career rebound as an Instigator. Hopefully many, many more. As Krishan throws the ball away there. Kings inbound. They'll go straight up the court by a wide open man for three. He hits it. That's Fuller for three. Steelers moving the ball around really well. Facing their first deficit of the game with 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter as they commit another turnover off an errant pass. They're talking, and instead we see the Kings just go right down and score. We get a timeout. So we'll take a timeout too. We'll be back with Hoosier State Instigators basketball right after this. Instigators inbound the ball here. We see Chuck Bloom is checked in. Miro gets fouled. He'll go to the line for two. Chuck Bloom is checked in, as Jake mentioned earlier, with the broken ribs. Limited in practice. In fact, he missed practice this week with the ribs, but got cleared by the doctors in time to play here. And no, they're going to wave off the free throws. And instead, this will be an inbound by the Instigators. Bibbs fakes the three-point, goes underneath the Chuck. Bloom for two, misses. He gets back on defense. 2-point attempt, no good, and Miro with the rebound. He'll bring the ball up himself. Back to Miro. He kicks it over to Bibbs. Bibbs over to the corner. Back to Tyler. Tyler fakes the pass, and instead goes to Miro, who gets fouled. Almost got the three-point opportunity, but instead he'll go for two. Here with a minute 20 to go in the first quarter. So far, the big man's been pretty active, Jake, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely a good debut here. A couple of boards so far. A good presence down under the basket so far.
Here's the first of two free throw attempts. That goes in. Instigators pull within four. They hit the second. Fadeaway doesn't go. Rebound doesn't go as well. As Instigators rebound the ball, and Miro bring the ball up again. Minute to go here in the first quarter. Kicks it over to Hopkins. Hopkins for three, no, but Bloom with the rebound and then gets called for the travel. That'll be a turnover by the Instigators. Something that's been a bit of an issue so far in this game, particularly late here in the first quarter. Hopefully something they clean up going into the second. Kings up three, though, 33-30. A little under a minute to go. They're going to look to extend that lead here with a potential 2-for-1 opportunity to end the quarter. Crossover there. Fade away by Mitchell. That goes. He's been hitting those pretty regularly to start this game. Something this year is going to have to defend if they want to stay in this. But right now, Instigators look like they're playing a 5-on-2 game. The two Mitchell boys against the rest of the Instigators. And right now, the Mitchell boys are winning. Foul there on Hopkins. He'll go to the bucket. No, they called an illegal screen. I'm sorry, on the Instigators. So instead, it'll be Kings ball with 23 seconds to go. Shot clock is off. Throw in and straight to the hoop. Doesn't go, however. The Kings knock it out of bounds. Well, it looked like the Kings knocked it out of bounds, but the referees say it was knocked out of bounds by the Instigators. So the Kings will maintain possession with 15 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Mitchell running the play, kicks it out. Goes to number 55 with the shot. He misses. That was Sims. The Instigators will get the last shot of the quarter here, down 5. Hurt for 3. That doesn't go, and that's how the first quarter will end. Instigators down 35-30 in an exciting first quarter. We'll be back with second quarter action as soon as we hit these commercial messages.
After a tough game, recovery is everything. At Fisher's Cryotherapy, the official cryotherapy provider for the Hoosier State Instigators, I use whole body cryo to reduce inflammation and recover faster. For injuries, their targeted treatments get me back in action. And when I want to look and feel my best, the cryofacial and infrared sauna do the trick. Fisher's Cryotherapy, my go-to for recovery. Book your session today.
Hey, it's Jakey Muffins here in warm and sunny Florida. But there's no place I'd rather be than at Best Choice Fieldhouse in Fishers, Indiana for the next Hoosier State Instigators home game. You can go over to www.apexofsports.com, click on the tickets link at the top of the page, and get your game tickets for our next home game. We have 3 and 5 game packages as well to help save yourself some money. I hope to see you at the next home game, and when you're there, be sure, as always, to be great and instigate.
Hey fans, it's Frosty, co-owner of the Hoosier State Instigators. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast, but I want to take just a few seconds to let you know about our fan voter tier on our Patreon. There you can find all kinds of cool stuff like behind the scenes footage of practices and tryouts, early access to games and podcasts, and much, much more. On top of that, you become an official fan voter of the Hoosier State Instigators, where you can make key decisions in running the franchise. Things such as what uniforms do we wear, who stays, who goes at the end of the season, evaluate the players and coaches, and make decisions that will impact this franchise for a long time. So this is your chance to get off the bleachers and into the boardroom with us, the Hoosier State Instigators, at www.patreon.com/Apex Athletic Collective. Hope to see you there. All right, Jakey Muffins, we're back here. Second quarter about to begin. What'd you see there in the first quarter from the Instigators and the Kings?
Yeah, lots of offense, especially there in the early part of that first quarter. Things slowed down a little bit there, later half in that first quarter for the Instigators, some turnovers, but Kings, as we expected, feeding through the Mitchells, and it looks like they're going to be a tough task for the Instigators defensively in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. The Instigators starting with the same 5 that ended the quarter. Bloom almost lost the ball. Instead, Miro gets it, and he puts it in. He's now got 4 points in this game to go with 3 rebounds. Cam Mitchell had, 16 points in the first quarter alone, Jake, to your point. Someone they're going to have to stop, or at least slow down. I don't know if you can stop Cam Mitchell, but someone you got to at least slow down going forward. 16 points in a quarter isn't going to do it. He scored most of the team's points, as you can tell. Good defense there by the Instigators, forcing the kick out pass. Kings will reset with a pick and roll. Mitchell for three. That goes. Instigators down 6. Good ball movement by the Instigators, something they've really improved on this year under Coach Dobbs. Bibbs with the miss. Offensive rebound by Miro. He kicks it over to a cutting Bibbs. Nice job. Good vision by the big man to hit the other big man, and the Instigators get the bucket here. Reset of the shot clock there. Inbound by the Kings. You see the pressure now by the Instigators, trying to make it a little more difficult for the Kings to set up their offense. Foul called on the Instigators as the bucket falls for Mitchell. So that's a quick 5 points for him already. Start this quarter, and he's going to try to make it 6 here at the line. There goes the shot. That goes in. JoJo Hart setting up the offense. We're a wide open Hopkins. Hopkins for three. That doesn't go. Rebounds by JoJo Hart, however. Back to Hopkins. Tamiro will shoot the three. And that goes in. 7 points for Miro already here in the first few minutes of play for him. Kings answer right back with 2 of their own, however, to maintain a 6-point lead against the Instigators, who aren't going away. Try to get it down to Bloom. Instead, that's a turnover by Hopkins. Nice poke there by JoJo Hart. Bloom all alone. He gets the ball stripped. Tough 3-on-1 there for Chuck. And Mitchell with the fadeaway midi again. Hart over to Miro. Miro takes it, and he'll go with the floater. That goes. Big man with 9 points here in the first half already. Shot doesn't go there. Kings get the offensive rebound, however, and put it back. A lot of hand fighting there. Unfortunately, the Instigators don't win that one. Good save there by Hart. Unfortunately, it's turned over anyway. Mitchell misses, and they're going to call a foul there. He'll go to the line for 2. A delayed whistle, but no doubt that was a foul, Jake. Don't you think?
Yeah, I'd have to agree on that one.
See, I agree with the refs sometimes, even when it's against us.
Yeah.
Mitchell with the free throw, that goes in, and you see Brandon Smith check in. He checks in there for Tyler Bibbs. They hit the second there, and now the Kings are up by 8. 9 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Smith called for the travel. Been a problem for him early in the game, early in his season as he returns back from injury. My guess is just jitters and something that he'll work out. You see Mitchell, number 5, with another. JoJo Hart for 3 answers back. Instigators down 7. Foul by Chuck Bloom. Got beat on the spin move and decided to foul rather than let Mitchell drive. Good movement there. Offensive rebound. The shot is missed, however. Jordan will go to the line for two. So the Kings giving the Instigators defense all they can handle. You see the shot there go in. They're up 8. Already at 50 points. 8 minutes to go here in the second quarter. That one's missed, however, and Smith gets the rebound. Ball gets tipped. Miro saves the 3D opportunity from the Kings. Over to Hart. Hart for 3. That doesn't go. Turn over here. 3D opportunity. The Instigators hit it quicker than we can hit the light, Jake. The Instigators back within 5. Foul there on Hart, however. That'll be on the ground, so they'll inbound the ball. So we'll hit immediate timeout. We'll be back right after this with more Instigators basketball. When I built my home, they offered me all kinds of cookie cutter options for my basement. But I had a specific vision, so instead, I called Chris Shepard and his team at Shep's Quality Construction. They worked with me and built my dream basement on my budget. If you have a project that you need done, make sure that you call Shep and his team and see your vision become reality today. We're back out here, 7:37 to go. Instigators down 5, the same deficit when they started the quarter. The Kings look good, but the Instigators have found a way to answer, Jake.
Yeah, Kings definitely went on a little bit of a run there to end the first quarter, start the second quarter. But Instigators finding themselves a way to stay in this game. It's going to be a high scoring matchup here. Definitely on pace for this game for both teams to break 100.
Absolutely. As we see Greg Hardiman checking in his second game with the Instigators. He debuted against the Chicago Fury a couple of weeks ago. Played a few minutes. He's looking to play a little bit more here as he integrates himself into the roster as well. Inbound by the Kings. By the way, I really like the Kings uniforms this week. The black with the Kings down the side, I think looks really sharp. You see a 2-pointer there for the Kings. The Skaters will bring the ball up. Hardiman, more of a point guard himself, will take over that role. Malcolm Martin in the corner didn't take the 3-point attempt. Instead, he passes it to Hart. Hart down to the big man. Back to Martin. Martin for 3, in and out. And the Kings rebound the ball there. Almost gets stolen. Instead, the Kings recover it, get the outlet pass for the easy bucket. So what would have been disaster had the Instigators maintained the possession turns into an easy bucket for the Kings. They extend their lead to 9. Ball just pops out. 2 guys that haven't played a whole lot together as we see a little bit of miscommunication there. That happens. Kings go up and they get another bucket, and they now have their largest lead of the game at 11. Here with 6:30 to go in the half. Pass down low. Miro with the post moves. He puts the ball in. Gets the Instigators back within single digits. Almost stolen there by Martin. Good defense by the Instigators to not allow the easy bucket. As the Kings player steps out of bounds, number 10 stepped out of bounds. Jordan. Instigators will bring the ball up now. Nearly loses that one. Another outlet pass is there. The Kings are going to put this one in. Martin takes the foul. And called a side out there. Martin claims he was shooting the ball. They're going to tell him no, however, and the Instigators will inbound the ball. Down 11, 58-47, 5 minutes to go here in the first half. As you see in the crowd, Alex Brown, the newly signed Lebanon Leprechaun and former Instigator. In fact, the team career leader in points on the sideline. Easy pass in there to Tyler Bibbs with the bucket as he just checked in. Moving screen there by the Kings will be a turnover. Pass to Martin. Martin for three, and he hits it. The Instigators, once again, trying to find a little bit of a run here. Down only 6. Traffic being directed here by the Kings as they set up their offense. Time going away on the shot clock, but Mitchell hits that shot again. Mid-range shot seems to be there all day for him. Martin got grabbed there, no foul call, but instead he'll go down to Bibbs who gets the turnaround layup. Instigators answer back with a bucket of their own. And there's another one by Mitchell. And we get a technical foul now on number 5. We saw him point to the referee there. Whatever he said apparently wasn't appreciated, so he'll get hit with a technical foul. And Martin will shoot the foul for the Instigators. So not sure what was said there. He's been having a pretty good game, but Martin will shoot the attack, and that doesn't fall. Gets one more here. So Martin hits 1 of 2 on the technical foul shots. Instigators will maintain possession here, down 7. Krishan Hopkins brings the ball up. He finds Martin. Martin down to Hardiman. Hardiman over to Bibbs. Back to Martin now. He'll shoot the 3. This Brandon Smith, though, with the rebound. He puts it up. He gets the bucket. I believe those are his first points as an Instigator, Jake, for Brandon Smith. So congratulations to him. Instigators pull within 5. Ball gets slapped out, and it'll stay with the Kings. Congratulations there to Brandon Smith hitting his first bucket as an the substitution. Mitchell for Mitchell here. 5 for 6. That goes in. We have the clock hasn't started here, so they'll reset the clock. So they reset the clock here, and then skaters will. As Bell loses the ball there. Mitchell gets the bucket, puts Instigators down 9. Kick over to Bell. Bell loses the ball there. Another turnover by the Instigators, and the Kings are off and running here. Shot by Mitchell. That goes in. Instigators down 12. Nearly another turnover by the Instigators again. They got to clean up the sloppy play, Jake, if they want to get back in this game. Captain America checked in for Brandon Smith. Easy pass there on the backdoor cut. And Hopkins hits the 2. Instigators back within 10. There. That'll send the Kings to the line for 2 more. He misses the first of 2. We see the Instigators bring the ball up here. Martin was open. They call him for a travel there. Another turnover by the Instigators. Stolen there by Bibb. A 3D opportunity here for the Kings. They hit the bucket there. That's a 4-point, 3-point shot, if you will, for the 3D. Instigators now facing the largest deficit, 15, and another turnover by the Instigators. Alley-oop doesn't go. Offensive rebound doesn't go, and the Instigators get back. I'd like to see Coach Dobbs take a timeout here, Jake, wouldn't you?
Yeah. See a lot of turnovers here. Things kind of getting a little out of control.
Another shot by the Kings, and that goes in. If I have one criticism of Coach Dobbs, it would be a small one. It would be usage of timeouts. I feel like right now the Instigators are on a getting really killed by a run. Probably need a break and some time to talk. And that is blocked. Instigators pick it up. Hopkins throws it away again. 42 seconds to go. Instigators down 16, the largest deficit of the game. The Kings look for another 2-for-1 opportunity. That's a 2-point shot. That doesn't go. Hopkins with the rebound. Nearly turns it over again. Instead, Martin picks it up. Then he gets fouled. Instigators now inbound the ball. Hopkins will inbound it with 29 seconds to go. The ABA Instigators get a full reset on a foul of the shot clock, so turn it over again, however. Great defense by Cash Bell, and he'll bring the ball up. He found a wide open shot. Travel there, and another turnover by the Instigators. Things go down low, and that will end the half. Instigators down in what was a competitive game, down 18, 79-61. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back right after this, breaking down the second half, or the first half of Instigators basketball.
Mission 22 is dedicated to unite the country in the war against veteran suicide. Bringing our veterans home is every American's job. Ambassadors are creating impact in their community across the country. Mission 22 has comprehensive treatment programs for post-traumatic stress and traumatic brain injury at no cost to veterans. This is an American issue. No matter where you stand, there's a place for your support. Visit mission22.com to learn more.
All right, Jake, we're back here. Halftime. Instigators down 79-61. Big story for the Kings, obviously, are the two Mitchell brothers playing, number 5, number 6, combined for 50 points in that first half. Out of 79 points for their team. What'd you see there, particularly at the end of the first half where it felt like things fell apart for the Instigators?
Yeah, I mean, throughout the whole first half, I think, defensively, we could use some improvement. We know anytime we play against the Kings, they're going to be a high scoring offense, but 79 and a half, that's definitely not what we want to see. We've got to improve on that. And then things kind of just fell apart offensively in that end of the half there for the Instigators. Lots of turnovers, some miscommunications, and when you're playing the Kings, a team that's going to score a lot, there's not much room for those type of mistakes to continue.
Yeah, absolutely. It was reminiscent, really, of the first time we played the Kings last year, where they put up 180 points. And really, the way the Kings offense is built, yes, they're really good in the half-court set. Yes, they can run plays and score points, but they're really built on turnovers and long rebounds for quick buckets, right? Ideally for them, they want to be running ahead of everybody with the ball and getting the layup or dunk. And we saw that a lot at the end of that second quarter as the Instigators just kept turning the ball over and over again. And one of the things that it showed me really was that we wanted that, this team is still trying to gel, the Instigators, right? They don't know where each other moves. They haven't been able to practice as much, particularly with injuries and people having to work and things like that. Our practices haven't been, filled with a lot of productivity where everyone's getting to know each other. Even there, we saw Chuck Bloom play a little bit, but with the injury, very limited there. And so that lack of chemistry really came back to bite the Instigators, where the hot shooting maybe in the first quarter really made up for that. So now we have a second half down 18. I guess my question, Jake, is can the Instigators get back into this game against a team this good? And if so, how?
Yeah, I think there's always the opportunity to come back. With the ABA's rules, you got the 3D opportunities. I think you're going to really have to capitalize on that. Limiting the Kings to difficult shots and then taking advantage of turnovers and converting those into points.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's right. It feels like it's kind of the story of the Instigators every game, right? A team that averages 25 turnovers a game needs to stop turning the ball over. I think that makes a ton of sense. I'd like to see Rico Spikes get into the game a little more in the second half, a player that is that calming presence, I think, on the court that doesn't turn the ball over a whole lot, that does some of the dirty work, kind of plays that Chuck Bloom style of basketball where he can hit the outside shot, he can control the ball, he can pass it off, or he can get underneath and get the basket and get rebounds. So I'd like to see him playing a little more. We didn't see him play at all in the first half. And so he was a game time decision on whether or not he was going to be there. So my guess is coach didn't have him penciled in as part of the rotation, but I think that's probably an adjustment we need to make. Meanwhile, we saw Miro get off to a hot start. He scored 9 points. Like to see him get the ball a little more as well and get some minutes. Again, it's his first game working his way onto the roster, having only practiced 3 or 4 times with the team. So hopefully he can kick it up a notch. But we've seen the Instigators answer runs with runs. And now we just saw, obviously, the Kings go on a hell of a run there at the end of the first half. So really, the Instigators need to start out with a hell of a run to start the third quarter in order to get themselves back into this, not just scoreboard-wise, but I think mentally as well. I felt like the team looked really sluggish at the end of the first half and weren't defending as hard as they could have on some of those drives. And so hopefully they come out reinvigorated. They start the third quarter off really hot, get back into this game. Otherwise, this might be a really, really sad stream for Instigators fans and us. So who knows? But we're going to head back out to Best Choice Fieldhouse. Stay tuned with us after the game, however. This is our special Super Bowl Sunday extended stream. We're going to talk about the Lions game, in which we have cursed footage and can't watch the game. And we're going to talk about the Super Bowl as well, because everybody in sports is talking about the Super Bowl today, and it's only right that we do as well. Spoiler alert, Jake, the Buccaneers aren't going to win it.
No, I know that.
So, all right. Well, we'll hit a commercial break and we'll get right back out to Best Choice Fieldhouse and finish off this one. And just one more time, thank you, Dave Rogers Modifications, the official broadcast sponsor of this stream. Dave Rogers Modifications, the handyman that we all need. He can do the small jobs, he can do the big jobs. Dave himself is a big man, and I bet he could play center for us if we needed him to, because he does it all. So thank you to Dave Rogers Modifications, and we'll see you back out on the court right after this.
Hey, it's Jakey Muffins here in warm and sunny Florida, but there's no place I'd rather be than at Best Choice Fieldhouse in Fishers, Indiana for the next Hoosier State Instigators home game. You can go over to www.apexofsports.com, click on the tickets link at the top of the page, and get your game tickets for our next home game. We have 3 and 5 game packages as well to help save yourself some money. I hope to see you at the next home game, and when you're there, be sure, as always, to be great and instigate.
After a tough game, recovery is everything. At Fisher's Cryotherapy, the official cryotherapy provider for the Hoosier State Instigators, I use whole body cryo to reduce inflammation and recover faster. For injuries, their targeted treatments get me back in action. And when I want to look and feel my best, the cryofacial and infrared sauna do the trick. Fisher's Cryotherapy, my go-to for recovery. Book your session today.
All right, everyone, we're back out here, out ready to start the second half. Once again, thank you to our new partner, Dubby. Dubby Energy Drinks, the clean energy drink, no added sugar, just the right amount of caffeine will get you going. I know sometimes when the Instigators are down 18 in the second half, I start to lose a little bit of energy, and so I pop some Dubby and get going so I can provide you with the best possible commentary. So go to Dubby's website now, use the code Apex Athletics to get 10% off, and make sure you get yourself back in the game with Dubby. All right, so Instigators getting ready to start here. I believe they'll start with the ball, as we see Rico Spikes has checked in for the Instigators. Looks like we're starting with him, Vontek Nelson, who hit a three-pointer there to begin the first quarter. Krishan Hopkins and Miro Stoffel are our starters here. I know the Kings will start with the ball. Apologies. Malcolm Martin is the 5th man on the court for the Instigators. There he is. He was hiding over there in the corner. I didn't see him. Kings start with the ball here, looking to start how they ended the half, which was fast. Nearly stolen there by Miro. Good hands by the big man. And good defense here. Look at the three-pointer for the Kings. That doesn't go. Miro with the rebound. He kicks it over to Hopkins. Instigators will look to close down on that lead just a little bit here to start the half. Down low to Miro. He gets triple teamed. Out to Martin, who's wide open. Martin gets blocked. Nelson with the rebound, and Monte Nelson with the bucket. The Instigators get the start they need with a stop and a bucket. But the Kings answer right back with a bucket of their own. Can't allow quick buckets here in the second half here, the Instigators. Spikes over to Nelson. Nelson for 3. That's 5 quick points for Monte Nelson. He's a player that can get hot and kill a team. And he's looking to start that off here early in the third quarter. So we see the Instigators also made a defensive adjustment as we see the veteran Rico Spikes. As we get a bucket there by number 55 Sims. Rico Spikes covering Cam Mitchell. Cam, who had 30 points in the first half. Instigators got to do something different, and this might be it. Good pass there by Hopkins. Easy bucket for Miro. The Instigators get the bucket. And now a steal for 3D. As we see the Instigators capitalize on both 3Ds in the first half. They missed that one, however. That would have been a 4-point shot. Would have been huge. Instead, the Kings rebound it, and they'll bring the ball back up and immediately throw the ball away. And we get a quick timeout by the Kings. There's discussion on whether or not it's a 3D. It is not a 3D. Miro steps on the line there. Long pass by the Kings. Camera lost it for a minute, but we're back just in time to see streaking Mitchell look to hit the bucket. He's been dangerous from the mid-range. Stolen by Martin. He gets it over to Miro before someone could collapse on him. Good play by Martin, laying his body on the line as Miro brings the ball up the court over to Hawkins. He goes over to Martin and to Nelson. And Nelson will go to the line 4-2. Levante Nelson has started hot here in this quarter, Jake.
Yeah, definitely. We've seen he's definitely got that ability to be the leading scorer, and when he gets hot, you gotta feed him the ball.
Out there by Nelson Falls. Instigators who are down 18, now down 14. Nelson hits that one as well, and the Instigators pull within 13 here early in the third quarter. So we see the pressure there, and they call a foul on Spikes. We'll see an inbound here by the Kings. So technical fouls there with a little arm fighting. Not quite sure what those were for. It didn't look super aggressive to me. It just looked like two guys jockeying for position, but technical fouls on both. As Spikes is playing especially tough defense, but when you score 30 points in the first half, you got to expect that, don't you think? And now we do get a timeout by the Kings, so we'll take a timeout ourselves before returning to Best Choice Fieldhouse. We'll be back right after this. Hey fans, it's Frosty, co-owner of the Hoosier State Instigators. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast, but I want to take just a few seconds to let you know about our fan voter tier on our Patreon. There you can find all kinds of cool stuff like behind-the-scenes footage of practices and tryouts, early access to games and podcasts, and much, much more. On top of that, you become an official fan voter of the Hoosier State Instigators, where you can make key decisions in running the franchise. Things such as what uniforms do we wear, who stays, who goes at the end of the season, evaluate the players and coaches, and make decisions that will impact this franchise for a long time. So this is your chance to get off the bleachers and into the boardroom with us, the Hoosier State Instigators, at www.patreon.com/Apex Athletic Collective. Hope to see you there. All right, we're back here. Instigators on a little bit of a run. Bring the score down to a 13-point lead. It was 18 to start the half. So the Instigators, as we asked for, started a little bit of a run, a little mini run, if you will, Jake. We try to pull back into this game, and it's mostly been pulled off by Levante Nelson, who's caught fire here with 7 points early in the third quarter. Kings will inbound after the quick timeout. Alex gets called for the foul. That's his third foul since entering the game. But he's been pulled in to be a defensive enforcer, Jake, so he's going to pick up some fouls, and the Instigators are going to have to live with it. Thank God we have the 7-foul rule here for the Instigators, giving Rico obviously an extra foul in an ABA game. Spikes there, gets the steal after the ball's knocked out of the hand of the big man by Stoffel. Heat check there, and that goes in. Nelson in double digits in just 3 minutes in the third quarter. So he's caught fire, and he's hoping to lead the Instigators, who are only down 10 now. As they call a blocking foul. Not sure what more Stoffel could have done there. I guess his feet were still shuffling at the end. Gotta get those feet set. But a good attempt to take the charge by the Instigators. First free throw for Mitchell goes in. Second shot falls as well. Makes it a 12-point game. Instigators still trailing. Spikes to the hoop. He kicks it out. Martin can't handle it. He recovers, however. Spikes down to a cutting Hopkins. Hopkins gets fouled. He'll go to the line for 2. Nice pass by Spikes. Sean hits the first shot. And the second. Instigators doing a good job from the free throw line tonight, something that's really been a struggle for them in the past. Number 2 looking for some space here. Lackey kicks it out. That three-pointer's missed. Gets the rebound, however, it is number 4, and he gets over to Mitchell. Mitchell, number 6 for the shot. He misses, and Spikes with the rebound. And he kicks it out to Hopkins. The Instigators are off and running. Spikes takes the blocking foul, and he'll go to the line for 2. So nice aggression there by the Instigators, and a chance to pull this 18-point deficit down to single digits after only 3.5 minutes here in the third quarter. Jake, what a start!
Absolutely, and that's what we needed here, to start the third quarter to get ourselves back in this game.
And Spikes misses the first free throw, so it remains a double-digit deficit for the Instigators. That one falls, however, and the Instigators pull it back down to a 9-point deficit. Still providing that high pressure are the Instigators. Apparently the clock wasn't moving. Nearly blocked, instead of pass out. Tough shot for the Kings, misses, and Martin with the rebound, and he's going to run the 3-on-2 here. He finds Miro, and why not? Miro hits the easy shot there, using his body nicely. Instigators pull within 7. Kings with the outlet pass doesn't go. Great defense. Miro with the ball. He passes it to Spikes. Spikes up to Hopkins. Hopkins to the corner. Martin for 3. That goes in. Instigators down by 4 now with 7:38 to go here in the third quarter. Stolen by Miro. He's going to take the ball up. Another 3-on-1. He's going to go straight to the hoop, and he puts in the finger roll. Instigators pull it within 1, and we get a timeout. So we'll hit a media timeout. Instigators erasing an 18-point deficit, down only 1 here. We'll be back right after this. When I built my home, they offered me all kinds of cookie cutter options for my basement, but I had a specific vision. So instead, I called Chris Shepard and his team at Shep's Quality Construction. They worked with me and built my dream basement on my budget. If you have a project that you need done, make sure that you call Shep and his team and see your vision become reality today. All right, Instigators come out of that media timeout only down 1, Jake. Can you believe that?
Yeah, great run to start the second half for the Instigators. If they can keep up that style of gameplay, they I don't think there's anybody that could compete with them.
Yeah, absolutely agree. The conversation. So they take a point away from the Instigators. So that last shot was a 2-pointer instead of a 3. Instigators only down 2, however. Here with 7:24 to go. Steal there. That's a 3D opportunity for the Instigators. And that goes in. That's 3 points there. The Instigators take the lead with a Rico Spikes layup, 3-point layup. And the Instigators, after being down 18 at halftime after only 5 minutes, erase the deficit and take the lead. However, Kings take it right back, 87-86. Also the pump fake over to Martin. Martin over to Spikes. Spikes over to Nelson. Nelson for 3. That falls. Touched every bit of the rim there for the Instigators, and they're up 2, 89-87, halfway through the third quarter. And that's a backcourt violation there. They passed the ball. Instigators looking for a bucket here. Miro nearly loses it. He picks it back up and then puts on a great spin move. Gets to the bucket. There's a little clarification there. Originally marked as a 3D, although backcourt violation is not a 3D, Jake. It's actually the opposite of a 3D. So the referees are having some conversations about it. One ref called it. The other ref is changing the rule. Changing the ruling, not the rule. The rule is that that's not a 3D. 3D, once again, for those of you watching, the player in possession of the ball has to turn it over from his own back court before establishing possession in the front court. 3D, obviously, you have possession in the front court and you go to the back court, so that's not a 3D opportunity. So Instigators up 4, 91-87, as the Kings look to answer back. Good wraparound pass there, and they pull within 1. I'm sorry, within 2, 89-91. As the big man Miro brings the ball up the court. We get a quick pause here. Looks like we might have some clock issues again, so they're working that out. And bound to Hopkins. Hopkins explodes to the basket. He gets blocked, gets his own rebound, instead goes to Nelson. Nelson hits a 3, trips over his own player. The Instigators up 5, 94-89 here against Ohio Kings offense. Shot there, no good. Rico Spikes with the defensive rebound. He's going to lead a sprint. Loses the ball there. No, they call a foul, so the Instigators will maintain the ball here. – All right, so we're going to get a quick timeout. We're going to take a timeout. We'll be back right after this with more Instigators basketball.
Mission 22 is dedicated to unite the country in the war against veteran suicide. Bringing our veterans home is every American's job. Ambassadors are creating impact in their community across the country. Mission 22 has comprehensive treatment programs for post-traumatic stress and traumatic brain injury at no cost to veterans. This is an American issue. No matter where you stand, there's a place for your support. Visit mission22.com to learn more.
We're back here, Jake. Instigators up 5, their largest lead since the first quarter. What do they need to do to maintain this?
If they can keep up this style of gameplay, I think they've definitely got it set up to continue to do that for this game and walk away with a victory. But that's a huge run. I think that's one of our best runs we've had all season, honestly, to start off this half.
Yeah, maybe ever, to be honest with you. The Instigators, again, if you're just tuning in, we're down 18 at halftime. We're just a little over halfway through the third quarter. Instigators have erased that deficit and built a 5-point lead of their own. After leading most of the first quarter, the Instigators have been playing from their back foot the entire game, but once again now getting to play from the lead, and we'll see if that changes anything as far as the way they play. Of course, to Jake's point, maybe it shouldn't. Really keep feeding Vontae Nelson as he takes another three there. That one doesn't go. He's got 17 points in this quarter alone. Hopkins with the quick spin. He goes out to Spikes. Spikes for three, and he hits it. Instigators now up 8, 97-89. 5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Kings looking for an answer, hoping they found something during that timeout. Nice rebound there by Spikes. Kings want over the back. They don't get the call, however. Spikes over to Nelson. Nelson's been the hot hand this quarter. Nearly turns it over, but good save by Hopkins. Hopkins to Spikes. Spikes down low. He finds Tyler Bibbs. Bibbs scores 2 points of his own. Instigators only 1 point away from 100 here in the third quarter. You see the quick outlet pass, something that's been stopped by the Instigators for most of this quarter, but wasn't there. And Spikes playing the point guard position, brings the ball up and kicks it over to Hopkins. Hopkins slows it down a little bit, calls for the screen, doesn't wait for it, however, it goes over to Spikes. Spikes pointing some more. Your Bibbs, you got to feel a little bit like a decoy on this offensive possession. Nelson for three, that doesn't fall. The Kings are off and running. You get a blocking call on Spikes. That's his 4th foul here in the third quarter. As we said, he was brought in to be kind of that defensive enforcer against Cam Mitchell. And he's doing that job, and what comes with that job are some fouls, and he'll check out there as JoJo Hart will come in. Kings inbounding here. Monte Nelson picks up the defensive duties on Mitchell, who had 30 points in the first half. So far, only 2 points in this quarter, however, I believe. As the Kings look, there's another mid-range. They call the foul on JoJo Hart from behind. He did get him. So Mitchell will go to the line for 2. Mitchell, who had a quiet first quarter with only 4 points, scored 12 in the second quarter and really came alive with those mid-range shots, similar to the one he just took. Hence the defense there, I would believe, by JoJo Hart. He misses the first free throw, however. Instigators maintain an 8-point lead, 99-91, 3:47 to go here in the first quarter. Third quarter. You know the quarter we're in. Shot there, goes in. Both teams looking for over 100 points before the fourth quarter even starts, as we see Nash Bell with the air ball 3-point attempt, and the Kings are off and running. This is what the Kings want to see, honestly, is long attempts missing. Big block there by Bibbs. Hopkins gets fouled. What a block there by Bibbs to keep the ball from the bucket. The Instigators will get the ball after the foul. As I was saying, those are the kind of misses, Jake, that the Kings really want to see. Long shots, long rebounds, and fast breaks. That's the Kings' style. Malcolm misses that one. Ball goes in. Looking for a foul, doesn't go. Instead, that bucket will count. 94-99, Instigators lead. Martin slows it down, kicks it back out to Bibbs. Bibbs over to Sean Hopkins. Hopkins with a through pass down to Martin. Martin down to Bell. Bell over to Hart. Shot clock lying down. Hart attempts it. He gets the foul. He'll go to the line for two. A little bit of a delayed whistle there, but definitely the right foul call as Hart will go to the line to shoot two. We're about to see some, as we call it, Jake, all bounce, no net. The unique setup style of JoJo Hart, who doesn't bounce the ball before taking a free throw. There it is. He puts it in. Can't argue with success. Instigators hit 100 points. 3 minutes to go still in the third quarter. This is going to be a high-scoring game. Hart misses that one, however, and the Kings get the rebound, looking to push the ball up again. Three-pointer, no good. Rebound, however, good. And now the foul. A little bit of celebration there from number two, and I don't blame him. Lackey there with the bucket and the harm. He'll try to make a three-point attempt and bring his team back within three. That falls. 97-100 is the score now. Instigators in the lead. Gibbs with the shot. That gets blocked there by Lackey. He gets the pass off. Stolen, and that's a 3D opportunity for the Instigators. Bell attempts it. That gets blocked as well. 2 blocks in as many possessions there by Lackey. Martin now finds a little bit of a lane. He goes up, and he gets the three-point attempt. Instigators up 6, 103-97. Instigators have capitalized on all but one 3D opportunities, and that's really helped them. As we get a block there by Tyler Bibbs, his third of the game. Bell gets called with a double dribble on a ball that looked like it got knocked out of his hands, but apparently not. So the Kings will bring the ball in from out of bounds. Tough call there. Hard to see, but it looks like it got batted out of his hands. The referee says no. And the Kings will inbound the ball here. Instigators now, however, in the bonus. So they'll get 2 free throws for every foul called against the Kings going on. As there's Bibbs' 4th block of the game. 3 in this quarter. So everything going right for the Instigators. Hard attempts, 3-point attempt. That doesn't go. Kings push the ball back up the court. Good pass, but stolen by Bell. Bell will take it 2-on-2 here. He kicks it out to Martin. Martin for 2. That doesn't go. The Kings will bring the ball back up. Kick out for 3. No good. Hopkins goes down. He maintains possession. Hart loses the ball. He gets fouled. And so the Instigators will maintain possession here with a minute to go thereabout in the third quarter. Up by 6. A little bit of a sloppy possession in the backcourt, but the Instigators did a good job of stopping the 3D opportunity that the Kings were surely going for. And because of that foul, as we just said, Instigators earned the bonus. So JoJo Hart will get 2 free throws and try to extend the Instigators' lead. That goes in. We get a substitution here with about a minute to go. That's no good. So the Instigators hit 1 of 2 on the bonus opportunity, and the Kings will bring the ball up. Mitchell goes to the bucket. That gets blocked, but they're going to call a foul there on Bibbs. Bang, bang, play. Mitchell go to the line for 2. Bibbs making the case that he got nothing but the ball there. The referee says, no, sir. And Cam will shoot 2 more here. Cam Mitchell with only 6 points in this quarter after scoring 30 in the first half. Definitely been neutralized, Jake, there by the defensive changes by the Instigators. He hits that one. That one falls as well. 57 seconds to go. The Instigators are looking for their opportunity for a 2-on-1 here. Or 2-for-1, I mean. Stolen, however, by the Kings. They're going to get the easy bucket here. And that's a 3-point lead by the Instigators. 43 seconds to go. Instigators bringing the ball up. Not letting the clock run. Now it will. Hart over to Hopkins. Hopkins back to Hart, over to Martin. Martin for 3. That falls. Ten seconds to go here. Kings will go for the shot. That doesn't fall. That's a turnover. There'll be about 2 seconds, it looks like, on the clock. They'll have to put back on. So the referees will do that. There's the clock. Under a minute to go stops when the ball goes out of bounds. Did not stop there. So they put 2 seconds back on the clock. So the Instigators will try something here. They throw it over to Sean Hopkins. I'm sorry. Pass Bell. Pass hits the deep 3. We didn't see it there because of the camera, but it falls. Instigators take a 9-point lead after trailing 18 points to start this quarter. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to be back with fourth quarter action here at the Fishers Best Choice Fieldhouse. Sorry about that. At Best Choice Fieldhouse here. I was making sure the quarter was over. We'll be back right after this.
Hey, it's Jakey Muffins here in warm and sunny Florida, but there's no place I'd rather be than at Best Choice Fieldhouse in Fishers, Indiana for the next Hoosier State Instigators home game. You can go over to www.apexofsports.com, click on the tickets link at the top of the page, and get your game tickets for our next home game. We have 3 and 5 game packages as well to help save yourself some money. I hope to see you at the next home game, and when you're there, be sure, as always, to be great and instigate.
So we're back here at Best Choice Fieldhouse. Jake, what'd you see in that third quarter?
Yeah, great third quarter there for the Instigators. Really one of the most impressive runs we've seen, taking advantage of everything. Just a little bit of some sloppiness towards the end of that third quarter, but overall a very solid quarter. And if we can continue that effort into this fourth quarter, we may be looking at our first victory against the Kings.
Yeah, a great quarter to be sure. The Instigators outscored the Kings 49-22 in that quarter, Jake. Heck of a run, as you said, by the Instigators. And now they take a lead. This is the first time they've led going into the start of a quarter. Down by 5 in the second quarter, and then down by 18 at the start of the third quarter. Now, start of the fourth quarter, up 9. So we'll see if they can maintain that lead. Instigators starting the quarter with the same 5 that ended the third quarter. Instigators start with the ball. Bell thought about shooting it. Instead, he'll go to Hopkins. Hopkins also thought about shooting. He'll go back to Bell. Bell for 3, and that goes in. Instigators up 113-101 here early in the fourth quarter. Shot there by the Kings. That's for 3, and they answer with a 3 of their own. Instigators again working it around the arc. Pass over to Bell. Bell down to Bibbs. Just missed the pass. had a lot of heat on it, which is understandable, and it just got past Tyler. And the Kings will bring the ball in, down 9. Again, high pressure by the Instigators. Mitchell held to 8 points there in that third quarter. Goes up, doesn't make it, but it's rebounded by the Kings, and they get the putback. Well thought about the shot again. Looking for some help. Instigators aren't moving around a whole lot here, but they get the ball over to JoJo. Good bounce pass. JoJo over to Martin. Martin for 3, and that goes. Instigators in the second half have caught fire from 3-point range, led by Malcolm Martin and Devontae Nelson in that department. Mitchell looking for the shot. He gets the up and under. Instigators bring the ball back up. 3-pointer by JoJo Hart. That falls his second 3-pointer of the game. Both teams reminiscent of the first quarter, up and down the court trying to get buckets. That's a foul there. The Instigators will inbound the ball here after they go chase down the red, white, and blue ABA ball. While they're doing that, we want to take this opportunity here in the fourth quarter. Thank you to Dave Rogers Modifications, the official broadcast sponsor of this broadcast that you're watching right now. No matter the size of the job, Big Dave can hook you up. Make sure you contact Dave Rogers Modifications for all your handyman needs in the Minneapolis area. Missed shot there by the Instigators. Kings are looking to push the tempo. Good dump off pass, and that's an easy bucket there for the Kings. So deficit down to single digits for the Kings as they look to take on this Instigators team that really coming on fire in the second half. Tyler Bibbs coming up limp. I'm going to get a substitution there. So Miro checks in for Bibbs. Tyler, looks like someone just came down on his foot there. Stoffel looking to go one-on-one. He's looked good all night offensively. He turns the ball over there, however. The Kings will bring the ball up. Looks like Lackey will try to go one-on-one versus Bell. Now he'll dump it off to Mitchell. Mitchell, mid-range shot, that goes. Got to get a hand up on those. He puts them in every time they're open, and a lot of times when they're not. So the Instigators will bring the ball up now, only up 7. Bell with a tough shot, that goes in. Instigators up 9. Mitchell loses the ball there. He gets it over before that 7-second violation. 1 second quicker than the NBA. We see now a foul called on the Instigators. I don't believe that bucket will count. The Kings will inbound it. No, they'll go for 2 shots. While they're taking their shots, we want to remind you, our new partner, Dubby, make sure that you go to Dubby's website today. If you're in need of some quick energy, use code Apex Athletics, all one word, you get 10% off Dubby today. Make sure you get your hydration needs through Dubby, the clean energy drink, no sugar added today. As that falls. Hopkins bringing the ball up here. Instigators up 7. Kicks it over to Stoffel. Stoffel for 3. He had one in the first half. That one doesn't go, however. Quick outlet pass. Nearly blocked from behind by Miro. Instead, the bucket goes in for the Kings, and the Kings are down 5 here with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter against the Hoosier State Instigators. Once again, if you're just tuning in, the Instigators were down 18 to start the half. Built a lead in the third quarter, and now they get a bucket and one by Cash Bell. He's got 4 points in this quarter, and he'll go to the line to try to make it 5. Really good high-level basketball on both sides, Jake. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, definitely. Throughout this game.
Cash Bell with the free throw attempt. That falls. He converts the and one. The Skaters back up 8. Shot by Lackey. That goes in. He answers back with a 3 of his own. That's back to a 5-point lead. Devontae Nelson's checks back in. The hot hand in the third quarter. Ball out of bounds. That'll stay with the Instigators as Miro about loses the ball there. A little bit of motion here from the Instigators. Ball goes into Nelson on the short side. Get a foul here. It's a foul on the Kings. The Instigators will inbound the ball again. Something to watch out for in a game this close. Instigators only 1 foul this quarter. Kings 4. If it gets to 8, that'll put the Instigators in the bonus. Miro with the tough shot. That doesn't fall, but Devontae Nelson with the key offensive rebound. That's a shot clock reset. And we'll see Nelson, or I'm sorry, Hart with the 3. That doesn't go. I believe it was a tip. Kings nearly throw it out of bounds. Instead, they'll take the 3-point attempt. That doesn't go, and Hart will get the rebound. As Rico Spikes brings the ball up, going to Cash Bell. Bell for 3. That doesn't fall either. Mitchell to the hoop. He gets that to go. He's just too strong. As JoJo Hart lets it go through his fingers, and that's a 3D opportunity now for the Kings. Ball has to touch the trailing official on the throw-in. That's why that play was stopped. You can do a quick throw-in, but the trailing official needs to touch the ball first. Mitchell back. He gets fouled. He gets the bucket to fall, so he'll go for the and one opportunity to pull his team within 2. I'm sorry, to tie the game. He gets the 3-point bucket with the 3D opportunity. Now he'll shoot one, and if he makes this, his team will take the lead. 125, 124. So again, 3D opportunity. They get 3 points off the layup. They still get the and one opportunity. This could be a 4-point play. That falls, and it is indeed. And the Kings retake the lead for the first time here in the fourth quarter. Midway through, 6 minutes to go left in the game. Miro with the ball. He's going to attempt to get down low. He gets double teamed, however. Finds Spikes. Spikes misses, gets his own rebound, puts it in, and the Instigators retake the lead 126-125. Get a foul there on Malcolm Martin. Inbound here by the Kings. Inbound there by the Kings. Another fadeaway midi, and that goes in for Mitchell. He's had a heck of a game. He puts that one in. His team retakes the lead. Bell looking to set up here a little bit of a screen. Nelson takes a bump. He gets it over to Martin. Martin goes up and misses the shot, but he'll go to the line for two as that's a foul on the Kings. Back and forth we go. This is going to be a tight game all the way through, it looks like. Referee issuing some warnings over some back and forth language here. Martin hits the first one, so the Instigators have tied the game up. Second shot falls, and the Instigators retake the lead. Bell playing some nice defense here. Ball by Miro. Nice job by Miro as he looks to pass the ball up. No, he's going to take it up himself as the big man. He loses the ball, however, falling from behind. And the Kings have the ball. Mitchell for three. And that falls. Instigators down two. And we get a timeout. So we'll be back right after this with more Instigators basketball here on our YouTube and Twitch. We'll be back right after this. When I built my home, they offered me all kinds of cookie cutter options for my basement. But I had a specific vision, so instead, I called Chris Shepard and his team at Shep's Quality Construction. They worked with me and built my dream basement on my budget. If you have a project that you need done, make sure that you call Shep and his team and see your vision become reality today. We're back here with 4:46 to go. Instigators down 2, 128 to 130 in a back and forth fourth quarter. Jake, what do you need to see the Instigators do in the last 5 minutes to pull this one out?
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to limiting the opportunities for the Mitchells on the Kings. I think that's been the key to their offense for the majority of the game. That and then the transition opportunities as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see how this plays out. It's been an exciting game. And I think it's only going to continue to be exciting. Instigators inbound the ball. So it looks like they had an error on the points. The Instigators only down 129 to 130. Bounce pass to Bell. Bell in the post. He'll take the fadeaway shot. That doesn't fall on the Kings rebound. They'll bring the ball up. Going for the quick points. Good job by Vontae Nelson to get in the way. That ball goes out of bounds. Couldn't keep the handle on it. Could number 5. So the Instigators will get the ball. We get a couple substitutions here for the Instigators. Nope. So the substitutions are waived off. Bell will get the inbound from Martin, and he'll go to Spike, who checks back into the game. Another three-point attempt there. Doesn't fall for the big man. The Instigators still down 1. 4 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. That's missed. Rebound there by Spikes. Instigators working 5-on-4 here, and finally the other defender shows up. Bell misses the floater, and instead the Kings will slow things down here a little bit. Up 1 with 3:30 to go thereabout here in the fourth quarter. Shot goes up and in, and they extend their lead. 132, 129. Instigators need to get some stops, and they need to hit a bucket. Like behind the back, nearly loses it. Instead goes to Martin. Martin's going to penetrate. He gets fouled. That doesn't fall, and he'll go to the line for 2. So Martin has done a great job being aggressive and getting to the line. here in the fourth quarter. One of the big reasons, as our camera gets knocked over a little bit off of a scoreboard. Sorry about that. We'll keep the score up for you. But one of the big reasons the Instigators have been in this fourth quarter is Martin getting to the line. He hits the first one. Blows the lead down to 2. Bella's out. Hardiman's in. He hits both. The Instigators pull within 131 to 132. Foul there on Hardiman, and it looks like the Kings will get 2 free throws here, and they will. Well, and that one falls, so it's only a 3-point lead here. 133-131. Nearly lost there by Spikes. Spikes for 3. That doesn't go. Rebound by Miro. It gets stripped away from him, however. Kings get it. Second violation. That's a 3D opportunity. So the referees will confer to confirm the call. That is indeed a 7-second violation. It'll be a 3D opportunity for the Instigators. And it has been confirmed. So the Instigators will get the ball. 7-second violation here by the Kings. The Instigators have an opportunity down 2 here to take the lead with any bucket. Take their time here. 4-point attempt. That doesn't go. Offensive rebound. Spikes for 3. That misses. The Instigators failed to capitalize. We get the foul by Miro to stop the fast break. 2 good looks there, Jake, but the Instigators failed to cash in on either of them. Still down 2. Have a quick stoppage and play here as they're looking to fix a slippery part of the floor. A little bit of court maintenance as we get ready to go. Kings will inbound the ball here as soon as they get this floor set. 2 minutes to go, up to 133-131. Kings led as much as 18 points, and the Instigators came back and had the lead for a while and are now down just a couple to a really good Kings team led by Cam Mitchell, who's on pace for about 40 points in this game. Lackey looking for the 3-point shot. That doesn't fall, but they call a foul on the rebound on Rico Spikes. So the Kings will keep possession here and will inbound the ball. So nearly a stop there for the Instigators. Instead, 5 seconds run off the clock, 6 seconds run off the clock, and the Kings will inbound the ball again with a reset shot clock. So if you're the Kings here, you want to take your time and get the best shot possible. Obviously, if you're an Instigators fan, you want them to get the stop here and get the opportunity to tie the game on the other end. He went for the attempt. Instead, he gets the foul and the harm. He'll shoot the free throw. Foul on Miro there. Went for the block. Didn't quite get it. And Instigators now trail by 4. That goes up and in. So that makes it 136, 131. Instigators down 5. Hardeman brings the ball up. Martin goes up. He gets the bucket. Instigators down 2 here. 1 minute 30 to go in the game. Another shot by Lackey. He puts up the 3. That doesn't go. Miro with the rebound. Double screen set by the Instigators. Spikes pump fake for 3. He looks down. He finds Miro. Miro with 2. Instigators down 1. 135, 136. 56 seconds to go. Gotta believe they're looking for a Cam Mitchell shot here. As Martin falls over, he gets back up on defense. That falls. To reset the clock here, 39 seconds. Again, under a minute to go in the quarter. Clock stops on an out of bounds or a made shot. So the shot counts. Instigators down 3. 138, 135. As Miro gets fouled, he'll go to the line for 2. Instigators down 3 here. Miro misses the first. Instigators still down 3. That goes up and in. So the Instigators pull it down to a 2-point lead, 138, 136. So again, a slippery spot on the floor here. What an exciting game, Jake. 34 seconds to go. Instigators down 2, 138, 136. Neither team in the bonus here, so it looks like we're going to play hard all the way through. Mitchell looks to bring the ball up. He's always going to be the one to take the shot. He puts his team up 4. 26 seconds to go. Once again, clock needs to stop under a minute. 28 seconds to go. Add 4 seconds back to the clock. 4 seconds doesn't sound like a lot, but when your team is down 4, you want every second you can get here. Spikes will bring it up. Looking for a good shot. Hardeman misses it. 3-point opportunity doesn't go. Reset the shot clock. So now the shot clock is off. Missed shot there. Foul there. So Miro will go to the line for 2 as the Instigators are now in the bonus. So he's going to shoot 2, although his team's down 4 with 10 seconds to go. So they're going to need something pretty big here to happen. It's not over yet. Maybe you make the first one and miss, Jake, as he does. Skaters down 3. Do you make it? Do you miss here on purpose, Jake, if you're the shooter?
Yeah, I'd probably be leaning towards that. Just because if the Kings get the ball, they've been able to score pretty effectively.
Yeah, with no shot clock, they could just run out the clock if they wanted. Instead, Miro hits the shot. Now the Kings will inbound the ball up 2. The Instigators need a turnover here. They get it. That's a 3D, Jake. So the Instigators now, any bucket will win the game. We get a timeout by coach. So we'll take a quick timeout. 10 seconds to go here, Jake, and we'll see how this one ends.
After a tough game, recovery is everything. At Fisher's Cryotherapy, the official cryotherapy provider for the Hoosier State Instigators, I use whole body cryo to reduce inflammation and recover faster. For injuries, their targeted treatments get me back in action. And when I want to look and feel my best, the cryofacial and infrared sauna do the trick. Fisher's Cryotherapy, my go-to for recovery. Book your session today.
All right, 10 seconds to go. Instigators down 2, 140 to 138. With the 3D opportunity here, means that any bucket by the Instigators will essentially put them in the lead and maybe even win the game. Who you draw up a play for here if you're the Instigators, Jake?
Yeah, I don't know. That's tough. I mean, we got a bunch of different guys that I feel like can hit the shot. I think you got to make it so we have at least somebody cutting down low, and if that guy's open, I feel more comfortable with taking a shot down low, just because it's going to be a higher percentage normally.
Absolutely. Ball out to Rico. Rico pump fakes. Pump fakes again, goes around over. Hardiman takes the shot. That doesn't go. They call a foul on the Instigators on the rebound. So they missed the bucket. 1 second to go. Instigators will miss the ball. Hardiman was the one with the shot. He was wide open in the corner. Would have liked to see Rico try to get the ball early down to maybe Miro, or even Nelson. Tough shot for Hardiman. His first shot of the game. It doesn't fall. And unfortunately, with 1 second to go, it looks like the Instigators are going to lose this game. And they do as players crash through the scoreboard. That'll be the end, or score table. That'll be the end of the game, however. Instigators lose in a thriller, 138, 140. We'll be back right after this to break down the game. Hey fans, it's Frosty, co-owner of the Hoosier State Instigators. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast, but I want to take just a few seconds to let you know about our fan voter tier on our Patreon. There you can find all kinds of cool stuff like behind the scenes footage of practices and tryouts, early access to games and podcasts, and much, much more. On top of that, you become an official fan voter of the Hoosier State Instigators, where you can make key decisions in running the franchise. Things such as what uniforms do we wear, who stays, who goes at the end of the season, evaluate the players and coaches, and make decisions that will impact this franchise for a long time. So this is your chance to get off the bleachers and into the boardroom with us, the Hoosier State Instigators, at www.patreon.com/Apex Athletic Collective. Hope to see you there. All right, Jake, we're back post game here as we see the Instigators lose a tough one, 138 to 140. What happened there at the end? Break it down for us.
Yeah, I mean, we saw how that third quarter played out, and if we could have carried that over into the fourth, that would have been nice. But Kings came back, and we know they're a team that's capable of scoring, especially led by the Mitchells, and it's just things didn't wind up falling our way there at the end. We definitely had the opportunity when it came down to that last possession there. We hit the free throw, maybe not what I would have thought to do, but we got the turnover and the 3D opportunity. But when you have that shot, you just got to make sure you can convert that to pull it off at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Tough position for Greg Hardiman to come into. Obviously hadn't taken a shot yet in the game. He's open there. He takes a shot. It doesn't go in. But you don't want anything better facing one of the top teams in the country, one of the best players in the country, to have a 3D opportunity to win the game. Sometimes the shot falls, sometimes it doesn't. This night it didn't fall for the Instigators, but still a really good showing. And so I was pretty happy with the way the team played. I know you were as well. A couple key performers for us. Malcolm Martin with 30 points had a heck of a game. Same with Vontae Nelson with 21 points and Cash Bell with 21 points. Both of them played really well as well. And then finally, Krishan Hopkins with a double-double with assists. He had 10 assists. And then finally, Miro Stoffel in his first game, 23 points, 9 rebounds, had a really good game as well. And so congratulations to those guys. Hats off to the Kings. But I got to be honest, I left that game feeling pretty good. That's a team that had beaten us pretty bad a couple of times. We played some close games against them this season. But we came in, we lost by 2 on a missed shot. We knew this was going to be a tough weekend. We fall to 6 and 7, but we have a little bit of cursed footage, as we talked about, lost the scoreboard here. And then, the footage, if you're a Patreon subscriber, you've seen it, of the Lions game. It's terrible. There's about 100 people running on the court. The AI just really messed up. It's one of those things where a small company trying to figure out how to do things. For the most part, I love our camera. It's done a really good job. It's cut some really nice highlights for us. We're learning more and more about it. But man, that Lions game was rough. And, it wasn't just us. If you paid to watch the stream of the Lions game through the Lions on their Patreon, they lost the entire first quarter. So I don't know what happened. My guess, this is the only thing I can think of, Jake. Bostic Gym is haunted.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that makes sense to me. Our whole footage is terrible. Their first quarter gone. So we can't show it to you, but if you want to watch 3/4 of it, it's $3 on the Lions Patreon. Go get it. But a really exciting game. Talk a little bit, Jake, about our history against the Lions going into that Sunday game.
Yeah, and I think there's also a Minotaur stream of the game available as well. But the Lions, I think that's kind of the team, especially last season. That was the one we like to, I guess, compare ourselves to. Being an Indiana basketball team in the ABA, the Lions are the team that everyone kind of compares themselves to, with the championship recently and consistently being one of the top power ranked teams. We had some great matchups against them last season while we were in the same division as them. Close matchups. Sometimes the score didn't necessarily reflect how close those games were. But when it came down to the wire and all those, the Lions wound up walking away with the victory. Similar to the Kings, we've had some close matchups, but we haven't been able to pull off a victory against them yet.
Yeah, it's really interesting. They came into this game the 4th ranked team in the country. They had posted on their social media some stats I didn't know. They'd won going into this game against us 14 in a row. They had, I think, 16 victories. They ranked number 4 in the country. On a really good run. I don't think they'd lost a game since like November. And then they played us. And we were coming off this really great game against the Kings, where I thought we played really well, maybe the best offensive game we'd had all season. They it's going to be an epic matchup. We'll talk about it a little bit. The one thing I want to say as well before we move on, hats off to Cam Mitchell, 49 points against us. And what was rumored to be his last game of the season with the Kings. The rumor on the streets was that he was going overseas. He did the same thing last year, right? Went and played in, I believe, Mexico. and had a really good season there. So his last, at least the rumor is his last game of the season was going to be against us in that game. So hats off to him. 49 points. What a way to go out. And I just wanted to check here, Jake, since we got some time. They played I think they played the Miners. Maybe. Yeah, I don't see the game here, but it looks like they lost to the Maysville Miners 133 to 115. It looks like he didn't play in that game. So that's going to make it challenging the Wizards lost to them. No wonder Cam's not on the team. So we'll see if he plays. But if he is gone for the Kings, that's going to be a tough loss. It's hard to replace that kind of production. But anyway, hats off to him. 49 points on us. I think he scored over 50 points on us one game. Now 49 this game. We got to figure it out. I thought we did better in the third quarter. He turned it on again in the fourth quarter with 13 points. So good game by him. Anyway, back to the Lions game. Again, if you want to see the full stream, you can check it out on Minotaur. You can check it out with the Lions. But we won the game, 111-104, in a game that we really didn't trail for most of the game. We led most of the way. I think the most we were down at any point was like 3 points or 5 points. Played really well. Their Cam that they have on their team, he played really well for them as well. Not so great in the third quarter, but turned it on in the fourth quarter to make it a game. But the Instigators get their first win over the Indiana Lions, a team that franchise and team that we have a lot of respect for. It was a really well played game. And it's fun to have that kind of cross city rivalry with another high caliber team in the Lions. So now we're 7-7. The Lions fell to 9th, I think, in the power rankings after that loss. And they just beat the Louisville Pros, the game the night before. So they had won they're 14 in a row. They look pretty set as we look at the standings there to make the playoffs as the first seed in their division. We're battling for the fourth seed, right? We're stuck in the third seed. We're stuck in the fourth seed right now. Top three go to the playoffs automatically. Fourth will play the fifth, host the fifth, which right now is the Wisconsin Frost to get that final playoff spot. But we're 7-7. At no point like you said, after we were 1-1, were we 500 again last season. We've been hovering kind of around there. I think we have a really tough schedule that has to deal with that. We didn't play a lot of the teams that have now dropped out. We've been playing, it feels like top 25 teams week in and week out. How far do you think this team can go, Jake?
I mean, we're co-owners and fans of the team, so obviously I'm gonna say I think we've got the pieces if we can put it all together to go all the way. I mean, that third quarter in that game against one of the best teams in the league, I think that shows we've got what we need to do that, and then we took down the Lions, a top 10 team, a perennial top 10 team, and if we're able to put that all together, I think it's definitely looking like we've got the chance for a deep playoff run.
Yeah, totally agree. And we saw some players step up in that game. 28 points for Levante Nelson, who really took over in the fourth quarter of that game. At one point sitting on the bench, I told him, I said, this is your game, because he was just killing the Lions. I think he went 8 of 13 from 3-point range in that game, which are like some Steph Curry type numbers. And so Levante Nelson now with 2 back-to-back good games. I think, having Miro, who had a great game as well. Miro had 15 points in that game and had a double-double. The biggest winner, I think, for players for the Instigators off that is Levante Nelson, because Levante Nelson's not playing power forward anymore as an undersized power forward. He's playing a 2. He's playing a 3. He's getting shots. He's getting open. Like he did early in the season for the Instigators. He went off early for us and then kind of got stuck getting beat up and battered around, playing down low. And now he's hitting 3-point shots. He's not having to, play a really tough defense down low. On top of that, Cass Bell had a really good game, 13 points. Cash now 2 great games against great opponents. Looks like he's starting to step up. And then Tyler Bibbs, 16 points, our other big. He shot 71% from the field. So this team feels like, to your point, they're starting to gel, right? And if we can get in the playoffs, obviously it's a tough road, right? Because if we maintain the 4 seed, which we're 2 games back with 3 games to go, we have our last home game on February 16th, in which we play the Maysville Miners, who just beat the Wizards, so they're no slouch. And then we travel to the Ohio Kings to play them again, and then we travel to Nashville the very next day to play a team that we barely beat, and who was the top 10 team when we beat them as well. So that's a tough stretch of 3 games, right? And we're 2 games behind, and so it's likely that we're in this 4 seed, which means we got to play a team in the Wisconsin Frost who've been up and down all season that we haven't played, we haven't seen yet. And then the winner of that game gets the opportunity to face the undefeated 18-0 Chicago Fury in the first round. Right, that's not even for the division championship. That's for the first round. And then you go on and you face the Saints, or who we haven't played this season, or the other team in Chicago, right? Yeah. And so it's the Inferno, the Windy City Inferno, thank you. Who we also haven't played this year, but have been playing really good basketball. So our division is tough, right? And then you win that, and you go on and you face obviously the winners of the other divisions. Gotta believe, at least in my opinion, coming out of the red division, our former division, is either the Lions or the Kings or the Wizards, right? One of those 3 teams. So that's a tough road. But whoever, again, I made this prediction last year, it came true. Whoever wins our region, I think, is the front runner to win the ABA championship. Do we have a chance of that? I think so. Do we have to play our best basketball from here on out? Absolutely. Right. But I like the way this team looks. I like the makeup of the team. You look at it, for those of you we've read our Patreon, reading about like the roster moves, you have to have 3 games in the ABA in order to play in the playoffs. Miro now has 2. Hardiman hit his 3rd, so he's good. So now obviously Miro will make it fine as he plays one of these games. But at this point, this is the roster. This is who we got. I'm happy with it. I think we look good. LB was a big missing part of that. He missed a couple games. He's actually going to be back, I think, this weekend. So that's some good stuff. But to your point, I think when we play our best, we are one of the best. We've gone on runs against the Lions, against the Kings, against the Wizards, against the Fury, right? Like, we are one of the best. Can we sustain it for 48 minutes is what we got to figure out. And if we could do that, we're going to be great. If we can't do that, we're looking at a loss early because the competition is just too great. There are no slouches in our division, right? Even the Saints, a team that we beat twice last year, pretty handily, are now the number 2 seed in the division and look really good as a basketball team. So there are no slouches in this division. It's all up in the air, but this is what makes ABA basketball so exciting. One of the things, and I want to end on this before we start talking to Super Bowl, the record for most wins by a coach is 7. Coach Dobbs just got her 7th win. She's tied me. It's not a prestigious record, right? It's our 2nd season. But I'm excited with 3 games to go for her to break that record, for the Instigators to win more games than they won last year, having only played 1 more game than we played last year, right? So originally we had a 20-game season. We lost 3 of those games, and now we're down to 18 or 17, I mean. And so, hopefully she gets it this weekend as the Miners travel to us, but they're a tough game. They're all tough games, but we've learned a lot about scheduling this year, I think. So, meanwhile, like I said, you want to watch Lions game, go check it out on Minotaur Streaming. Go check it out on their Patreon, the Lions Patreon. But Jake, any final words on the doubleheader weekend for the Instigators, in which we split, 1-1?
Yeah, I think it's cool. We finally got to pull that off in the regular season. The first time we experienced that was in the play-in tournament last season.
Yeah.
But I think, I could be wrong, but I think that means we might have bragging rights for the state of Indiana as far as the ABA goes.
No, I think that's right because we beat the Legends twice and the Lions once, right? We're 3-0 against Indiana opponents.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, I might have had like a little thing I threw together real quick, so it's not great, but this was it's the Hoosier state, you know.
Love it.
Yeah. So
That's awesome.
we got our
That
two
first
games.
Legends game, 89-82, was epic. And so was the Lions game. That's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, so I guess going into next season, unless we got another matchup down the road, I think
Yeah.
we got bragging rights.
I think you're right. And, the graphic didn't have it, but in the preseason, we also beat the Shuckers pretty badly, too.
That is true.
So, shout out to them. They're going to be great next year in the ABA. And I can't wait. Indiana's presence in the ABA makes me really excited. I hope that the Midwest Monsters come back because they were out of Hammond, Indiana, which would have been another Indiana team, but bragging rights for us. So let's take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to come back right after that and finish up today's extended broadcast with some Super Bowl conversation, talk about the big game and what we are looking to see out of that game and get into some predictions even. So we'll see you right after this.
Hey, it's Jakey Muffins here in warm and sunny Florida, but there's no place I'd rather be than at Best Choice Fieldhouse in Fishers, Indiana for the next Hoosier State Instigators home game. You can go over to www.apexofsports.com, click on the tickets link at the top of the page, and get your game tickets for our next home game. We have 3 and 5 game packages as well to help save yourself some money. I hope to see you at the next home game, and when you're there, be sure, as always, to be great and instigate.
All right, so T-minus 4 hours till the big game, Jake. We got the Chiefs going for the first ever three-peat, against the Eagles, who are looking to win their first championship since Nick Foles led the team back against the Patriots several years ago. I want to get into a little bit, but I want to hear not who you think's going to win, not your keys of the game, but we're going to start with who are you rooting for?
Yeah, so from Pennsylvania, so I would have to root for the Eagles. Obviously, I'm not an Eagles fan. I've got the Bucks flags up
Yeah.
there, but I definitely, I got friends and family that are Eagles fans. So I'd be rooting for them.
Yeah, no, that's great. I'm rooting for the Chiefs. I've had to think long and hard about this. I like the Saquon story with the Eagles, right? And like someone who a lot of people discounted, thought his career was over. And then he signs with the Eagles and looks like the best running back in the league. Like he should have maybe all along if the Giants were run well. But at the end of the day, like to see a team win 3 championships in a row is epic. Never been done before in the NFL. It's been a long time since anyone's done it in any other league. And so for that reason, I'm going to be rooting for them. I think that the Chiefs get a lot of hate that, maybe is undeserved, but comes with winning, right? It reminds me a lot of the Patriots when Tom Brady was going through his run. So I'm rooting for the Chiefs. But what are you looking for? What are you looking at as keys to the game for these two teams?
Yeah, I think. I mean, it seems like it's always a one-score game with all the games for the Chiefs. So I think the deciding factor, in my opinion, is going to be turnovers. So whoever wins that turnover margin, I think, is going to be the team that walks away with the victory.
Yeah, for me, it's going to be improvised plays. I think the defensive line for both teams is going to get after the quarterback. Both these quarterbacks have the ability to make plays on the run and turn nothing into something. But you're right. The Chiefs, it feels like they're the worst, like 2-loss team ever. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like every game, and has been one score, it feels like. And every week the announcers like, are the Chiefs for real? You know what I mean? They just keep getting away with these victories, and they've ridden all the way into the Super Bowl with that. So, as a bonus, I'm going to put up field goal kickers because it feels like at some point that's what the game's going to come down to is who can get the final 3 points in the game. And so that'll be interesting to see. So shout out the kickers. I hope they both hit every field goal they get the opportunity to hit because I don't want to see the death threats and all that if it comes down to that. Instead I want a good competitive game that comes down to that. But I think, it's fun to watch Patrick Mahomes throw the ball all over the place with the no-look passes and scrambles and all that. But man, Jalen Hurts has made a season out of just running for his life and making plays that put his team in the lead. So it's really fun to watch. And he's a guy that I think a lot of people underestimate as a quarterback. They got Saquon, they can run the ball really well, but also like he's no slouch either. And the wide receiver core for the Eagles, really good. So, well, let's get to it. Who you picking to win this game? What's your score?
Man, I don't know. See, being from Pennsylvania, I feel like I have to say the Eagles, but if I'm being honest, I feel like the Chiefs are gonna pull this one out. I just they have so many games this year where, like you said, it feels like they shouldn't have won this game or won whatever game it was, and something crazy happens and they're able to pull it off. I think if the Eagles do win, I think Saquon is going to have a really good game. I think Hurts is going to have a great game regardless, but I
Yeah.
think the Chiefs are going to game plan around Saquon and try to limit them, offensively to more so at the passing. I think the Chiefs are going to wind up winning though a 23-20 victory.
23-20 is pretty good. That's a close game. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm at a 19-16 Chiefs victory. I think you're right. I think they shut down Saquon. I think the Eagles defense does its job. And I think it comes down to a field goal at the end, but it's going to be really exciting. I'm excited for it. I've kind of like fallen in and out of love with football my entire adult life. But I think this is going to be a fun game to watch. Especially if you're kind of a football aficionado that likes defense, you like running. I think Kareem Hunt could have a really good game. A guy that's kind of been a really good redemption story in the NFL. Was once a superstar as a rookie for the Chiefs, and then kind of lost his way and got into a lot of trouble, and then came back and is kind of, for all reports, sounds like he's turned his life around on that end. So he could have a big game and kind of fill that redemption story. There could be news during halftime that Cooper Kupp has been traded. Who knows? But by the way, what's your prediction? Where's Cooper playing next year?
Man, I don't know. I think the default answer is anytime somebody's, getting a little bit older in age and
Yeah.
coming off some injuries, it's going to be the Tennessee Titans. It
Yeah.
seems like they always wind up there. So I guess if I had to put some money on it, that's who I'd go with.
I think I hadn't even thought of the Titans, but you're right. That is absolutely like a DeAndre Hopkins type situation.
Yeah.
That's a really good pick. I like the Raiders as a pick. I could see them making a splash there. Same with the Cowboys. I think both those teams could look to get him. But my surprise pick in the wide receiver market this year is Devontae Adams to the Rams. I think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be a really good fit for kind of the last year for Matt Stafford. But yeah, it's it's not even the offseason and all kinds of crazy stuff already being talked about. So football's in, full board. The one thing that's disappointed me about the Super Bowl for the last 5 years are the commercials. They've been terrible. What happened to the heyday when people put effort into these commercials, release like teaser trailers beforehand? These days they're pretty boring. I don't know. Do you expect that to change, or is it going to be the same?
I don't know. I hope it changes. There was a couple of, maybe only one that I can actually think of with like a little bit of a teaser. I think it's an Uber Eats commercial. They had Matthew McConaughey,
Oh, yeah.
kind of like doing the practice Mike Ditka type of thing.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't know. I think the one thing that is a lot different with this Super Bowl compared to every other Super Bowl, this one's going to be streaming live on Tubi, which is free. So
Yeah.
it's going to have, I mean, obviously it's free, through Fox, CBS, whoever it's through, like local stations, but this
Fox.
one's streaming. So I think that I'm hoping that opens the door for some more innovative commercials compared to what we have been seeing.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I have seen the previews for the Ditka commercial. I mean, McConaughey has kind of been the actor for these Super Bowl commercials, the Lincoln commercials and all those. So it'll be interesting. I hope there's some good stuff. I hope there's some good trailers out there that kind of surprise. I'm a big movie trailer guy. So if I can get a good movie trailer or two that I didn't see coming, I would love it. Maybe another Superman trailer would be cool. But the commercials to me have just been like not worth watching. I'm gonna watch the game on Tubi. I just got rid of YouTube TV because they jacked up their prices $20 a month. I'm hoping it gets enough support that maybe they start putting. Fox just bought IndyCar rights, and they're gonna have IndyCar this year. Maybe they'll put it on Tubi. But I'm gonna watch it on Tubi, see how it goes. It can't be any worse than the Jake Paul fight on Netflix that buffered every 5 seconds. But I think it'll be a lot of fun to watch. Maybe Tubi will do a great job. We'll see how it goes. But that's how I'm watching it on the big screen downstairs in the basement. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, all right, last question, Jake, and then we're going to cut it off for the night. What's your Super Bowl snack tonight? What are you eating?
I don't know. I'll be at work, so I guess I'll be delivering cookies. So I guess I'll probably have some snacks, some cookies and brownies or whatnot.
So are you going to be listening to the game while you're driving around, or what's your plan? Or are you just going to check up on it?
Yeah, it's gonna depend on how busy we are. I mean, if it's slow enough, maybe we'll watch it in the back. But while I'm out, I guess I'll just listen to the radio side.
Yeah, I think everyone, like, honestly, if anyone's ordering cookies to be delivered during the Super Bowl, it's kind of a jerk move. I think order your cookies
Yeah.
beforehand. Let my guys watch in peace. You know what I mean? But yeah, for us, I don't know what we're doing tonight either. We might order some I've been thinking right here as I'm sitting, maybe I'll do some B-dubs. They're not a sponsor of this podcast or this show, but I don't know. That might be what I'm craving. But anyway, speaking of sponsors, it's been an extended broadcast. Super happy that Dave Rogers Modifications is the broadcast sponsor of this show. Dave and Crystal, the two owners, have been immense supporters of what we're doing as a small business, our first year in Fishers. Their son has given a lot to the team and has been a great player for us as a teammate. Someone that we have high hopes for as he continues to grow and get more comfortable in the game. He's had moments where he's played really well, and it's been fun to watch. But Dave and Crystal have been awesome partners for us. We're so happy that they're the broadcast sponsor for this. If you need anything, if you have any project, big or small, call Big Dave Rogers Modifications. Give them a chance. They'll not leave you disappointed. And so thank you to them. Huge shout out to them. Huge shout out to everybody else who's been watching. And a huge shout out to us for beating the Lions and playing next week our final home game of the regular season, February 16th. It's a Sunday, 6 p.m. So note the time. Best Choice Fieldhouse, where we take on the Maysville Miners, owned by Joe Perez, one of the owners of Apex Athletic Collective. So it's going to be an Apex rivalry, Jake, the first ever Apex rivalry game. I'm not going to ask you to predict who's going to win, because if you don't say the Instigators, I'll cry. But it's going to be a fun one. So any last words before we depart?
No, I mean, I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be the last home game on the schedule. Obviously this second half of the season, it's been a little bit in flux, but I'm really proud of where we stand with the team. That win with against the Lions, I think that's really one of the things we've had on the list of things we wanted to accomplish at some point. We finally were able to cross that off. So back at 500, hopefully we can end the season with a winning record. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, until next time, everyone, enjoy the Super Bowl. We will be back February 16th. Catch it live on our Patreon or on delay with me and Jake that week. We'll see you soon. But until then, be great, instigate.